Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. I am the old school game snob, and today we're taking a look at the Sandbox game. This is the Sandbox game. This is the alpha test. And what we're going to do here today is we're going to say hello to Snoop Dogg first. Sup, Snoop? Here's the Walking Dead little display. This is sort of the alpha loading stage area, and since I don't have an alpha pass, I can't really show you too much. But I can show you around a little bit. And what we're going to do in today's video is take a look at some of the gameplay, as much as we can look at anyway. And then we're going to take a look at the voxel editor, where you can go and you can create assets for the game. Create avatars, create scenery, create plants, create various other things. Then we're going to go take a quick look at the game maker, where you can, without coding experience, as they say, where you can create games for the Sandbox metaverse. Forgive my frame rate, it's a little bit choppy at the moment. I'm just exporting another video in the background. The game actually runs super duper smooth, even though you see a little bit of chop in my display. Just try to ignore that, sorry about that. And then last but not least, we're going to be looking at the land for sale, some of the prices on land, some of how the game, I think, works, basically, from what I've been able to gather in terms of, well, location, what makes land valuable and that sort of thing, what things to consider when you might, consider purchasing land. So here we are in what I would say is a sandbox estate. This is a loading area, a portal to another location, which is not available, for me at least, and maybe not, since this is just like an alpha test or whatever. But this is sort of, the game. And now, theoretically, as the game goes on, there'll be lots of different interesting play experiences that get added. I think The Walking Dead, for example, will have a little play experience where, I don't know, you'll probably go in and you kill zombies and escape zombies and try to, not get eaten by zombies. Generally zombie-related things, I would guess. But yeah, this is a look inside the game, as much as I can show you for today. And hey, if this video gets 10 million views, Sandbox, you should have given me an alpha pass so I could have shown your game off better, but hey, you know what, you're getting all sorts of attention anyway, you don't need me, that's alright. Anyway, this is my little guy here, he's got a mustache. He kind of looks like me in real life, except I don't have a mustache right now, but I've grown one before. It looks kind of like this. Anyway, let's move on to, let's take a look at the game maker actually next, because that's kind of interesting, and then we'll take a look at the Voxedit software. Alright. Okay, we're going to take a look here at the game maker next. So they got some templates you can choose from. Apparently they all, here we go. Here's a nice template to take a look at by the looks of it. Or maybe this one, Dusk Forest. Let's jump right into this. Of course, you can start with a completely blank template. You don't need to use a completely blank area of land. You don't need to use a template, but I think a template will be a nice place to start things here. So like they say, you don't need any game making experience, any coding experience, anything like that to be able to use the game maker, and I played around with it a little bit, and that is essentially true. There is not there are a few simple-ish things that you can do. At the moment, of course, you hold down Alt to pan around. Here we're taking a look at the land plot here. This looks like about maybe like a 4x4, or maybe a 1x1. I'm not exactly sure how big. I think this is a 1x1. I'm not exactly sure how big this parcel size is. A parcel size, which is 1x1, is about 96 meters by 96 meters. So basically, this is what you do. You can, of course, and I'm a little bit clunky with the controls. I use too many different editing softwares, and they all have different controls. I wish they would just unify what the mouse look is, and you can use the same controls for everywhere, but hey. So kind of like Minecraft, right? This looks a little bit like Minecraft, I would say. You can place down different blocks, you can create different sort of landscapes, you can also kind of put down placeables. Here's a nice little wolf. And there's quite a few things to choose from, and basically what you see here is just the tip of the iceberg, because not only can you buy things from the asset store, I guess, or buy things from the Sandbox store to place into your world, you can also build stuff in Voxedit, which is what we'll take a look at next. So yeah, here we go, building up this world, doing whatever I want here, putting down some cactuses. Sure, why not? You can also do some things like edit the behaviors of certain things, like for example, this gray wolf. I can sort of tell you a little bit about what he's going to do. What's his behavior? All right, so there's a few presets built in. So let's say this one's a predator, and what is his radius of detection? How far will he chase the player away? How fast does he move? This sort of thing, right? So you can affect some of these details. I am not pro at this at all, but there's some sort of basic gameplay stuff. Play sound when you get nearby. Maybe you can make him howl or something like that, right? Or play some music or whatever, right? So you can do a few behavioral things in the game editor. From what I've seen so far, it's not a huge amount of things you can do yet. You can kind of make a guy attack or play an animation or something like that. Like, so there's kind of some simple things going on that you can do at the moment. And at any point when you're ready to hop into your game, you just click play. You can take a run around, see how things are looking, see what all things are about. But yeah, it's not hard to use. It's certainly not hard to use to build an environment, and I think that's what the focus is really so far right now. It's not so much on like gameplay mechanics or what you can actually build into the game, but it's more like what you can build as scenery around. And probably more will be added to this as time goes on, I would say. That would of course be nice to see. So that's a quick look at the game maker. Yeah, quite easy to use, but fairly easy to use because still not a huge amount you can do with it, but still, I'm sure they will expand on that quite a bit. Okay, here we're going to take a look at the Voxedit. Now this is used to create models, characters, in-game assets, trees, plants, rocks, all sorts of different things. Let's start by looking at this terrible one that I made. This is just awful. This is a thing that I did. So basically, yeah, it kind of works similar to the game maker in that you can kind of trace out your things that you want to create, right? So you want to create like a little character. I don't know. Here we go. Let's do a little character. Here we go. These are his legs. Let's pretend this looks good at all. There we go. Now we've got his little body, and there's an arm, shoulder. Great. Very lifelike. Anyway, so you can see where we're going with that. Voxedit, of course, has all sorts of interesting things, of which I am by far from a master, so not even close to knowing a lot of how to use this, but you can, of course, color things, you can remove things, you can add things, you can, draw things all up once, and you can do different things with this. I don't even know what you can do. You can do some things. So yeah, that's kind of the block builder in terms of how to create modelers, but let's also take a look at some of the other things as well. Okay, so in addition to the Voxedit modeler, you also have the Voxedit Animator, where you can, basically create animations. You can create, I don't know, dancing animations, jumping, you can, I think, basically animate whatever you want in any which way that makes you happy. And I don't really know how to do this, but hey, it's here. It's an animator where you can animate your models. They've got some nice templates available for you to sort of get an idea of how things go. There's also some tutorials. I don't even know what this block part does, but hey, this is the Voxedit where you can model, you can animate, and then hey, you can actually sell these assets on the Sandbox marketplace. Okay, so this is a look at the Sandbox configuration, the land layout, land in sandland. Each one of these little tiny squares represents a lot of land that you can purchase. We'll take a look at how much things cost in just a minute, but I'll give you a brief overview first. So as you can see, there are little tiny lots of land, and these are actually not that small. These are 96 meters, I believe, by 96 meters by 100 meters or something like that. So you basically get a cube worth of space that you can build on. You can put your own NFTs on for sale. You can build gaming experiences. You can do all sorts of different things. I don't exactly know what. You can do things on your land. If you buy some land, you can do some stuff there. So there are also, you may have noticed, some larger estates of land. For example, these Sandbox estates, I believe, represent spots that Sandbox is going to probably reserve for themselves in order to probably put up gaming experiences. I'm thinking that's probably how it's going to be. You also have like partner estates. So Care Bears, for example, is partnered up with the Sandbox, and they have their big estate here. And at some point, you're going to be able to head on over to the Care Bear estate with your character and experience virtual Carolot Kingdom. That is also true for some other companies. Let's see, we have Atari somewhere around here. Yep, very big estate, Atari. So they'll have some sort of Atari experience. Actually, Atari's all over the place. So I'm guessing that probably Atari will have several experiences going on, several different play experiences going on throughout the Sandbox metaverse. You also have Snoop Dogg over here, which I'm sure will have some sort of experience. There we go. Here's a bit of Snoop Dogg preview. Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's already a bit of dev going on here. that looks kind of cool. Anyway, so basically in terms of buying and selling land, it's location, location, location. Here's Smurfville. If we take a look at the premium location toggle here, what this basically shows is land which is which is located in sort of a hotspot, and hotspots are basically around. They are around basically hubs. So you have your estate hubs, your Sandbox estate hubs, your Atari estate hubs, your Smurfville. These big estate hubs are going to be where players can basically portal around to. So you could warp from Smurfville over here over to Care Bear Land over here, just like we looked at in the earlier part of the alpha test video. You could just warp from one of these locations to the other. Otherwise, if you want to travel around the Sandbox, you can move from lot to lot to lot. So you can run your character through this little lot, and then you can run them into this one. And then you can run them through this one, and then you can run them into this one. This is my understanding of things so far. I'm pretty sure this is how it works. I'm not 100% sure, so take this with a grain of salt. This is what I've heard. But here's the thing. You couldn't jump from this lot of land over to this one, right? So your character actually has to traverse through these lots of land to get somewhere. So what you're looking at is potential spillover from Care Bear Land into like the next nearby available place of land for sale. So if you're located right by Care Bear Land, or if you're located right by a Sandbox experience potentially, or if you're located right by Atari, right, or right by the headquarters of the Doggy Army, Doge Army, Dog. I always like to say Doggy. It seems like the better word for it. It's like Doggy Coin. Why is it Dogecoin? No, it's Doggy Coin. Anyway, you can disagree with me on that. If you're here, you might get spillover traffic from people here, and if you get a bunch of spillover traffic from people in Doggyland, Dogeland, then you might have some NFTs for sale. You might get like this residual overflow traffic, right? Kind of like having a Starbucks at an intersection. So there's just like lots of people walking by, lots of traffic flow, and that's kind of how location works. You want to be, if you're purchasing land, you want to be somewhere where there's lots of activities going on, and so that I believe that's what the premium option shows kind of hotspots, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's head on over to check out some land prices now. Okay, here we are taking a look at some of the land for sale in Sandbox on OpenSea. I'm just going to sort by the cheapest because there is no cheap land in sand anymore, as far as I can find. So here we have a lot of land available for 2 Ethereum. That's roughly $13,000 for this lot of land. It's just kind of in the middle of nowhere too. It's not really in a hot spot or anything. It doesn't look like it's in a terrible spot because you got some Sandbox plots nearby. But yep, so there's one example of that. And yeah, as we scroll through, you can see that there's all sorts of different lots of land available, and there are quite a few parcels left, but there's just nothing. There's nothing really, too affordable. Unless $15,000 is affordable to you, there's not really nothing that's too affordable. Yeah, it's really ridiculous how astronomical the prices of Sandbox land have gone, really. I'm going to sort now by price high to low. Now we'll probably see some wishful thinking, because there always is in NFTs, right? Like 9,999 Ethereum. We got some wishful thinkers in the scope. 18,000 for this little thing. Like sometimes people just put ridiculous prices on things just to be weirdos. I don't know. But realistically, let's see if we can find some realistic prices. I don't know if we can. We just have all sorts of high end here that doesn't really give us a good indicator what the actual high end is. So you can filter, I believe, by. Can you filter? I'm not sure if you can filter by I believe you can filter like by 2 by 1 or 1 by 1 or 3 by 3 or something like that. So if you want to buy like a larger lot of land, here we go, a 3 by 3 estate. Let's go price low to high. And yeah, so there's a 1 by 1, so not by I'm not exactly sure how the filtering by dimension works. But yeah, that's a look at basically some of the costs and how and land prices, and that's what I know in terms of like locational buying and what could be valuable. So yeah, anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel for more crypto gaming news. All right, see you in the next video.